rock solid all the way. New's going to be piloting the Malphite in the top lane. So run me through OMG first, because there is a lot of engage too on this red side.
Yeah, even though OMG does have a lot of engage, right? We have the Malphite, Olaf wants to run in, Kai'Sa has the ability to jump in, might even go something like a
This is going to be a banger as we head into our very first game of FPX versus OMG. And FPX, if you haven't seen, if you haven't heard, running 4 out of their 5 of what we expect to be the full roster. Of course, Nuguri is in Shanghai at the moment. As we get a look at the Demacia champ. She's heading through mid right now. Double buffs available. And looking to wreak some havoc. Tien needs a seismic shove onto Wooming and throwing a couple of stones in the wreck of that havoc. It sends out stone throw once again. Flashes away. This is getting messy. As Doomby heads forward onto Cold, and Cold just kind of walks into him. You've given first blood over to a Yone, as Aki has to flash as well. And FPX are probably loving this, thinking you fell right into our trap.
Around the map, obviously we had a lot of question marks for FPX coming in because they fell out round 1 in playoffs and lost 2-3 to IG in the regional finals. So not a good showing that we would expect from FPX. Players recently pivoting towards even buying Gale Force on.
There's a Killer Instinct in the bottom lane. Wild Rush is still available for LWX. He's trying to stack up to S tier. Inferno triggers there and he pops it immediately, but is exhausted down. That exhaust changes everything as he flashes away, and Eric comes on up. The Black Shield timing perfect, but Crisp able to trade back. Really nice from OMG's bottom lane. Well, it is a fate sealed by Doenby, who runs on into his death. Tien to salvage the situation, but Aki and Wooming are hot on his trail. With a Paddle Star, a Trouble Bubble, they can find this kill. OMG hungry for blood, but Tien dodges away. The undertow not enough. Tien, it was nice from Doomby. They wanted to make sure this Herald was theirs, and then they wanted to fight over it.
Yeah, and we saw they try to deny it like you say. He pops to E, goes in a bit too far, goes over the wall. Nice ultimate, but it kind of has to flash out, so I'm wrong. That actually wasn't a nice ultimate. And now Tien left in the 1v2 situation. Does manage to get away in the end, though.
It was definitely an ambitious play as we're continuing forward. New doesn't have flash, he doesn't have an ultimate, and Tien, Xiaolao Hu, and Doomby are hot on his trail. Gets the knock up through Q, and Tien's going to get the kill. Nicely done from FPX to keep the momentum high and set themselves up for Rift Herald and potentially first Turret Blood in the top lane.
Yeah, this is going to give them a lane to play through, like a point of pressure on the map for the rest of the game. So they're very easily going to be able to push in this lane and just start rotating the
especially if you're someone like Tien who has Luden's Echo. But for OMG, they've had the objective game pretty even with FPX through this first game of Demacia Cup. We're seeing our second dragon go down, and it is Aki who starts this one and gives out the mountain towards OMG with, as I move my fat face, actually an Ocean Soul.
Trouble Bubble.
It does land onto Doomby. He starts tanking up Herald for a little bit. How coordinated is this? Good Rift Wall, but you know what? Aki just comes in and takes it. Banks flashes away, and
the Herald, they disengage easily. It's going to lead to a mid tower, and they're going to even out the gold score when they're the ones sitting on 2 Drakes. OMG in a great position.
And they're going to get a second charge through Herald mid as well. 4 members sticking around. New is off to the side, just waiting for that Kennen to show himself. So Herald get Herald.
Talk about if he can find a nice flank angle, get on top of the Zoe and the Kai'Sa, it will just be a one fight for the side of FPX.
But at the very least, he has flash too, so if he needs to close the gap, he can. Talia's Weaver Wall doesn't shut out Aki again. He walks in, he steals it again. Stop giving him these objectives as we engage from you. Was solid as hell, but Xiaolao Hu with a 5-man ulti, and it's Inferno trigger time. It's about time to talk about Devil May Cry as well, until Eric presses Q. Doomby in with the Q himself, and at level 11 wants to take down Wooming, but the Blast Cone brings him over into his AD carry. They can't kill Doomby yet, and onto Cold with a mortal shield bow. He almost comes back to life, but Wooming finishes off the kill, and OMG really strike at the heart of FPS. OMG are trying to get the pick, and it makes a lot of sense. Good deep vision here, and this time, the Weaver's Wall is great. They want to stop the Ocean Soul. Aki's like, I'm not going in. Instead, Doomby's up in the air and just dies as he goes back. The soul was unbound, but they took the soul anyway.
You know, it took 3 times, but Tien finally got it right. He Weaver walls Aki out. Then Doomby, it looks like, at the same time, is trying to disrupt them as well. Jumps in with the E, gets the knock-up as well. Instantly bursted by the side of OMG, which, when you have an Olaf, you have a Zoe, you have a Kai'Sa, Burst is also the name of the game for this team comp, and now this should be a free Baron for the side of OMG.
Yeah, because no Weaver's Wall to follow up. There is a flash, but Baron's getting low. Chris wants to headbutt Pulverize, and he's sending Cold out. Instead of getting the Baron, they want the fight. LWX is setting up for the perfect Inferno trigger as Cold gets ignited and taken down, but Wooming's damage. He has a Sterix gauge second, so there is a lot more healing on this Olaf. But will I have time to talk about it? Because New with Ultimate and Flash available is trying to be burnt out by FPX. But Lyric, do you see what I see? Are you ready? Because Wooming's coming in red hot and LWX is already forced back with its Immortal Shield Bow shield. And Olaf just runs down Doomby. Aki's showing up bigger than expected. As flashing away from the binding, but New comes in red hot. Shallow, who goes golden, a good seismic shove into the slicing Maelstrom. New gets burnt down pretty heavily with Ignite ticking down. He will die, but Eric doesn't care. He'll run forward, and FPX have just been blown apart.
Yeah, amazing ace coming out from OMG, only losing one member, and they are going to be able to pick up an inhibitor off this most likely. Also should be able to get that Ocean Soul. Death timers are still too short for them to take the game. But 6k gold advantage, they should have Ocean Soul. Honestly, just feels like a matter of time.
Yeah, it feels like you spike this one down, right? With the way Wooming's playing, with Eric's comfortability within this squad. Good to see, led by Aki, of course.
Doomby just kind of walking into three members. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I feel like I can understand what FPX were trying to do at first. It seems like they were trying to get Prio through bot, kind of conceding that they can't contest mid with OMG. It is a bit tough when you're facing a Malphite. I do think they might have...
Been more difficult to say the least. Morale picked up here with needlessly large rod, and at this point with the game feeling like it's done, FPX need the miracle Cannon ulti. Otherwise, they'll just lose out handily. But you know what? If New ults him and brings in the Kai'Sa, Eric can just clean this one up. Goes golden, and that Zhonya's Hourglass will delay the inevitable as Cold locks on down to Tien. And this will be his death as well. It's a double kill over to Wooming. 8-0 and 4 now is the Zoe. And OMG only need the Baron to run towards the base.
And I just love that play coming out from Cold. He actually flashed forward to guarantee that binding to pick up that last kill. So a lot of aggressive options coming out from OMG. And when you're coming into the LPL, how much action you can create.
Unhinged expectations. We thought this roster could have potential, but not look this good. It's a great start. As Tien's Weaver's Wall says it's not over just yet, but with Ocean Soul, Olaf will not die. Gore Drinker means he's going to heal this one up, and Undertow may not connect thanks to Zhonya's, but Tien's just dead anyway, because Wooming says so. Top side, and Niven's going to drop down, and you know what? Let's run it into base.
Make mistakes themselves, but even now, that feels like it's too late.
Really does. Engage from Doomby and OMG are running towards the Nexus Tower. It's first game of Demacia Cup was kind of open and closed by that third, fourth team fight. And FPX running 4 out of their 5 world starting roster have just been obliterated. Inferno trigger's huge. As you saw, a Samira who was behind almost brought that back. But it's OMG who hold the cards in our first game of Demacia Cup 2020.
A lot of good things to see out of OMG. It does feel like, even though I said, hey, OMG were bloodthirsty, they were hungry. I mean, you lost the best of one, not too big of a deal. There were some highlights early on. Those 3-man dives top were quite beautiful. Doomby had a really nice early game, so